What an eventful last couple of minutes I had right before starting this recording today. Man, seriously, I have got a massive headache that has been brewing in the back of my skull all afternoon, and then right as I sat down, there was this giant bug crawling on my leg that literally had me squealing and swatting at my pants, like a complete lunatic, and then, to top it all off, I happened to stumble across this insane clip of Mike Tiny Johnson trying to play a sad song on the world's smallest violin about members of Congress trading stocks, which is basically just legalized insider trading to anyone who actually activates their brain cells. By the way, this whole morning has just been kind of miserable for me. Honestly, it is literally the exact equivalent of that classic cartoon gag where a character steps on a garden rake, turns around, steps on another rake, and just hits themselves squarely in the face a bunch of times in a row. That is exactly what it felt like watching this garbage unfold. Now, to be totally fair, this is definitely not a brand new clip. I think it has just been going viral all over social media recently, which is the exact reason why I just saw it popping up on my feed. This footage is originally from like a year ago or something like that, and in the full clip, he is standing there talking about why he is supposedly in favor of a total ban on members of Congress using their classified knowledge to trade individual stocks and gain a massive financial advantage over the rest of the country, which is highly illegal for regular citizens, by the way, but you wouldn't even know it because absolutely no one in Washington ever gets in trouble for it. He is looking at the camera saying, I am completely in favor of that policy because I just do not think we should have any appearance of impropriety here. Okay? But then there is the other side of the coin, and some people look at him and say, oh, I love that he is taking a stand against corruption. No. Do not buy into that fake garbage for a single second. Man, he says, I am in favor of banning it. We need to banish it completely to the shadow realm. But then right after that, he goes on a massive rant to make points gathering deep sympathy for stock trading with Congress members' advanced knowledge. So, let me get this completely straight. You are publicly claiming to be against it, but you are also simultaneously so sympathetic for the exact reasons why members of Congress choose to do it. How incredibly peculiar is that? Man, those two statements seem completely at odds there, Mike. Don't you think, oh, it is just a few bad actors who discolor the entire institution for everyone? And look, we have absolutely no tolerance for anything even remotely resembling insider trading or any of this kind of unfair advantage that anybody could potentially take in the markets. Zero tolerance for it, and we will completely stamp it out ourselves, guys. So that is the exact reason why I am in favor of the official policy. But I completely understand the regular people who have serious misgivings about banning it, you know? So we will just have to wait and see exactly where the law lands. Oh shit, we already know exactly where that law lands. Mike, it lands in the exact same place it always does. Right in the trash can, because insider trading has become a mass permanent staple for these corrupt politicians at the absolute top of the financial food chain here. So even though he spends a minute talking about him being in favor of the ban, he spends a massive chunk of time, which is the exact clip that has gone totally viral, making arguments in favor of why politicians and Congress members have engaged in trading these stocks and how incredibly sympathetic he is for their financial struggles. It is completely delusional, man. It is just openly, blatantly disgusting behavior. And then he also has the absolute nerve to drop this fraudulent statement about how there is zero tolerance for insider trading in Washington. Since when, Mike? Seriously, since when? Absolutely no one is getting punished for it, Mike. Not a single person. You are going to stamp it out yourself. What does that even mean in the real world? Just bend over for it and let it keep happening forever. Just completely blinding yourself to the truth here because that is exactly what has been going on for decades. You are not stamping out insider trading for shit, man. I will show you that viral clip of him completely ignoring the financial struggles of the American worker and talking about congressional stock trading as though it is like a highly positive thing for their lifestyles. But first, I want to just make it incredibly clear that all of these political zombies do the exact same thing. They will publicly condemn the practice, saying, boo. Insider trading is bad. Look at us fighting for the working class. But they know deep down that the system is absolutely not going anywhere. And in fact, they do not want it to stop because all of them are actively doing it. Even someone like Nancy Pelosi, whose entire name has literally become completely synonymous with brilliant insider trading bets, also publicly condemns it, talking all about her full support for putting the kibosh on it. Nancy Pelosi's potential insider trading is a worse-kept secret than me being short, but she has never once been punished for it. There have been absolutely zero real-world consequences for her actions. and there are plenty of people just like her on both sides of the aisle, especially inside Trump's inner circle during his time. All of his cronies are actively gaming the stock market in broad daylight, just blatantly corrupt insider trading right in front of your very eyes. And who is going to jail for it? Who is getting arrested and walked for insider trading? Absolutely nobody. Man, it is completely silent, just crickets out there. So people like Nancy Pelosi or Mike Johnson can come forward publicly and deliver this incredibly valuable lip service about how much they truly hate insider trading and that they are pushing for aggressive action against it. But they know damn well that no real change is coming because all of them are actively making millions off of it. And they also don't want the free money train to stop either. The only famous person that I can even think of in recent history who was actually held on the hook for insider trading was Martha Stewart. And that went down over 2 decades ago. Man, nowadays, you are not cool in Washington unless you are actively cheating the system. All of these ghouls in Congress seem to be heavily engaging in it every single day. And also, if we are being historically accurate, I don't even think Martha Stewart actually went to federal jail for the insider trading charge itself. I think it was like ancillary lying charges and conspiracy things on the side. But anyway, the Mike Johnson speech here was a nice disgusting cherry on top of this garbage cake, where even though he was saying he is in favor of the ban, he then did a whole pathetic spiel about how he is very sympathetic to members of Congress who trade stocks to get by. Well, look, the baseline salary of Congress has been completely frozen since the year 2009. When you adjust those numbers for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 30% less than they made in that exact year. The real purchasing power goes down every single year. And over time, if you stay on this exact trajectory, you are going to have significantly less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme personal sacrifice to run for Congress. It is just a reality where people have to make a reasonable financial decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, maintain a residence here, maintain a separate residence at home, and do all of the expensive things that are required of a politician. So the counter-argument is, and I have some real sympathy for it, look, at least let them engage in some regular stock trading so that they can continue to, properly take care of their families. Oh, cry me a river, man. The base salary for a regular member of Congress is $170,000 a year plus change. Oh, and let us not forget, it also comes with a massive mountain of premium healthcare benefits and pensions. But yeah, he is out here trying to drum up deep public sympathy about the extreme sacrifice they have to make, because apparently 170 grand is not enough money to support a family in America anymore. Oh, their salary has been in limbo, frozen like that since 2009, poor babies, but it also happens to be more than 3 times the average salary of the normal American worker. So a member of Congress supposedly cannot support their household off just that massive 6-figure salary. Yet normal average Americans are expected to survive off of a literal third of that amount. That is incredibly interesting, Mike. I do not see Mike Johnson making any sympathetic arguments on the House floor, trying to raise the average minimum wage or the baseline salary for everyday working citizens. Why is it that only wealthy Congress members get his deep emotional sympathy on their shady stock trading habits just to try and support their families? Because $170,000 a year just isn't quite enough money for them. They shouldn't be expected to take care of their households on that pocket change, right? Talking all about how, if we take away their ability to trade stocks based on corporate secrets, we are going to lose all the highly qualified people coming into government because the cash clams just aren't there anymore. Hey pal, did you just blow in from stupid town or something? Can you honestly not see the blatant, blinding conflict of interest there when people are choosing to get into national politics solely to get rich off their position as opposed to actually serving the public and improving the country that they are representing? If they are standing there solely to make millions of dollars off their insider knowledge, don't you think that completely compromises their ability to do the job effectively for the voters? Like, just some basic food for thought, I guess. Mike, these corrupt crooks feel so incredibly emboldened by the current state of this country right now because there are absolutely zero consequences when you reach that specific level of institutional power. He is just out here openly yapping about it to the press. He is not even whispering it behind closed doors. He is saying it out loud with his whole chest on television. It is like he got hit with a massive dose of truth serum, and he is just unapologetically talking about why it is so understandable that these Congress members will engage in a wee bit of corruption, a tiny little tiddlywink of insider trading, and it is actually kind of understandable according to him. But hey, don't worry guys, he is totally in favor of the ban, which by the way, still hasn't actually come to a vote. Still not banned, they are still actively doing it right now, in May of 2026. No one is getting punished for it, even though the evidence is sitting right there in the open, this blatant, disgusting insider trading, and it has been going on for so long. I also find it absolutely adorable how Mike Johnson in particular, anytime he is asked about any controversial topic, he is always just like, "Oh yeah, I don't know anything about that statement." Or, "Mike, did you hear the insane thing that Trump just said about this policy?" And he just smiles and says, "Ah, I didn't hear it. No, I didn't hear that at all." Dude is completely deaf, 99% of the time when it comes to doing his actual job, but his ears immediately perk up and his senses fire when it comes to completely taking advantage of the American public and trying to rally support behind the idea of Congress members needing to engage in a little insider trading to survive. Oh, 170 grand plus benefits just isn't enough to be raising a family and taking care of expenses, guys. So we really do need to have deep sympathy for why they might choose to do that. It is just so completely delusional and so entirely out of touch with reality. And again, he is just saying it voluntarily. It is not like he is being tortured in a dark room to have this information forced out of him, where it just oozes out of his lips in pure desperation. He is just confidently, smugly saying it to reporters. He also has the absolute gall to call this job a massive sacrifice, by the way. Oh, the noble, heroic sacrifice of sitting in an air-conditioned room only getting paid 170 grand plus benefits in Congress. My heart completely breaks for them, man. Like, we really need to have sympathy for this stock trading. Guys, I do think we need to really consider their financial hardships. That is absolutely not a sacrifice. Brother, that is a significantly better financial reality than the vast majority of jobs that the American public are waking up to do every single morning. And I strongly believe that the normal American worker works significantly longer hours and way harder than members of Congress do. I fully believe that in my core, and those workers are getting a literal third of that salary. And yet Mike has the absolute nerve to be saying that it is a brutal sacrifice only getting $170,000 to do this job. Do you have any earthly idea how many regular citizens would kill for that kind of steady salary, Mike? Like, that is the most envious financial position to be in for most families. Right now, the average American is expected to be raising a family off a third of what you are out here crying and yapping about, and you are standing there saying how difficult that lifestyle is for politicians. Imagine what it is actually like for the real average American family trying to buy groceries. Right now, it is almost completely impossible to survive off of a single income, which is exactly why dual income is pretty much the only way people are able to even start to tinker with the idea of buying a starter house and raising a family. It is extremely difficult out here, and even with a dual-income household, most regular families are still not reaching $170,000 a year off the average American working salary. Mike, this is just a terrible, elitist, out-of-touch argument that he is making. And again, in the full context of the interview, he is claiming that he is in favor of the ban. But if that is truly the case, Mike, why are you actively gathering public sympathy for the crooks that are doing this stock trading? These potentially dirty dealings using insider government knowledge. That is a little weird. Man, it is almost like his public stance is just completely empty lip service. Because all of these politicians know that if they just outright said, "Yeah, we love insider trading, screw you guys, kick rocks, we are going to keep doing it come hell or high water," who cares? They would get massive pushback even from the most brain-dead of voters. So they are forced to put on this fake facade of, "Oh no, this corruption is really bad, we are looking into it." And even though a lot of them will stand on stage and say grand things about how bad insider trading is, and make these big public pushes to put the kibosh on it, somehow mysteriously, the legislation just never quite pans out. Isn't that weird? Isn't that just so incredibly strange? Guys, it is almost like it is one of the absolute biggest perks to being in their positions of power, milking the office for all the money they can possibly squeeze out of it before their term ends, using highly classified information that is absolutely not available to the general public and only available to them. It is exactly what we are seeing right now with so many of those politicians close to power, where it is just completely clear that this system is rigged. And it is also something that has been going on for an extremely long time across previous administrations as well. Insider trading has been a core financial staple for many members of Congress for generations, And unfortunately, I don't think it is going away anytime soon at all, no matter how much public talk or media outrage there is about it. It just seems like the entire institution is truly corrupt to the absolute core. Just completely rotten from the top down. And Mike Johnson isn't even shy about trying to talk about it positively on camera. Anyway, I will stop blabbering about it because it is just so incredibly infuriating to think about. Anyway, that is really about it for today's breakdown. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about this whole situation. This show is officially out. Peace.